It was one of those stunning California-style summer weddings that are memorable for a lifetime. Emily and I signed at a picturesque ranch in Napa Valley, surrounded by vineyards and orange groves. The atmosphere was relaxed, close friends, no pomp, all in the spirit of simple American luxury. My new mother-in-law, Carol, Emily's mother, was also present. This 40-year-old beauty at the first glance attracted all men's eyes. Dazzling blonde with a chiseled figure of a photo model, long slender legs, wasp waist and lush bust. Her luxurious golden curls fell down to her shoulders in a pearly wave, and her large blue eyes shone with a sparkling sparkle. Carol had a magnetic charm and allure that few women possess. When my mother-in-law and I spun in a slow dance after the wedding banquet, I felt her closeness all too clearly. Carol pressed herself against me with her whole body, literally pressing into me with her hips and firm breasts. Her slender, silk-clad legs were rubbing against mine in a lewd friction, and her lips were almost close to my ear. "I hope you'll be able to make my dear daughter properly happy," DJ KJ, my mother-in-law, murmured in her sensual, chesty voice, which sent a hot shiver through my body. "And if anything, I shall always be glad to help quench your boyish ardor." Her tantalizing lips opened expressively, her words sounding more than explicit and promising something unbelievable. I was dumbfounded to meet this fatal beauty and froze. In her eyes openly read the challenge and bold proposal of intimacy. The wedding music suddenly seemed an unnecessary background, and the dance was cut short by an incredible heartbeat. But Carol resolutely took my hand and led me away from the noisy crowd of guests to somewhere more private. Once in a private, secluded room, Carol pushed my back against the wall and greedily planted a kiss on my lips. Her hand slipped under my jacket, pulling me to her waist. "We were made for each other, sweetie." "DJ KJ," she breathed hoarsely, not breaking the hot embrace. "And you deserve this wedding night with me." I nodded dazedly, powerless to resist her onslaught. Carol's lips covered mine in another lewd kiss. Her eager tongue explored every corner of my mouth, and her hands went under my shirt, shamelessly groping and stroking my breasts. I melted from her fervor, from her unconcealed desire to possess me completely. The next few minutes were a blur. I only vaguely remember the whirlwind of clothes being thrown off and Carol's suppressed moan. And then we, finally naked, shamelessly intertwined in our first forbidden intimacy on the leather sofa. Carol proved to be adept at lovemaking and was not at all shy about openly demonstrating her skills. She generously shared her experience, helped to gain confidence, suggested the most seductive caresses, and how to give a woman true pleasure. These hot lessons of seduction were like a grueling but incredibly sweet marathon, when one pleasure greedily replaced another, and the thirst for carnal intimacy became more and more unbearable. "That's it, my good boy, BJKJ." Carol exhaled shamelessly through the shroud of ecstatic moans of pleasure. "You are such a capable student. Now remember that tantalizing taste forever." When we finally collapsed in sweet exhaustion on the crumpled sheets, my mother-in-law pinched my cheek. "And Emily will never know how I taught you all the tricks and wisdoms of love on our wedding night today. But now you'll be an ace in the sack, just for her." To be perfectly honest, the first few days of married life with Emily had been a major sexual disappointment. My young, innocent wife was remarkably inexperienced and even prudishly correct in matters of love. At any attempt to be naked, she was embarrassed and stewed, in no way went to the slightest experiments in bed, preferring always the same routine position. After half an hour of monotonous caresses, Emily began to fall asleep, then shamefully covered herself with the sheet and turned away. Compared to the hot and incredibly lustful Carol, the difference was stark. On the first wedding night, Emily timidly pressed herself against me, all clenched and tucked in, allowing only limited simple caresses. All my attempts to vary the intimacy a little or try something new met with a firm VDJ Nino of JKJ and lamentations about the VGJ sinfulness of such things VJKJ. I simply couldn't remember Carol's cues and lessons, so stilted and sanctimoniously puritanical was Emily. By the time I was forced out of bed for the third time that night to briefly go freshen up in the bathroom, I was already pissed off by the whole unsatisfying situation. My excited, youthful body was eager for full liberation of feelings, longed for real passion, sincere embraces, and loud, ecstatic moans. But my young wife simply did not give it to me, every time shy and capriciously pressing her lips. The morning after a nearly sleepless night, when I was once again trying in vain to get Emily to come, Carol suddenly came into the bedroom. I was lying in bed alone, Emily having gone out to make coffee. Carol's tight-fitting dress with the deepest cleavage, luxurious loose hair, and the alluring, intoxicating scent of expensive perfume instantly clouded my mind. My mother-in-law slowly licked her plump lips and winked playfully and teasingly at me. "Perhaps, dear son-in-law, you still need my special help? My years of invaluable experience and all?" Since that memorable day, Carol had become not only my official mother-in-law, but also my regular mistress, teaching me more and more of the mysteries of carnal pleasure. While Emily was at home or endlessly shopping with her friends, her lecherous mother came to me for another raucous coitus. Carol was the epitome of pure lust and unbridled passion, the likes of which you couldn't even find on the covers of cult magazines like Playboy. Only she knew how to behave so masterfully in bed. And her shameless moans, lustful screams, and slutty praise time after time excited my lust to the limit. In one of these meetings, when we once again indulged in universal passion on the wrinkled, sweaty sheets, Carol whispered hotly in my ear, "You have no idea, sweetie, how long I dreamed of such an insatiable and enduring lover. Don't spare no effort. Show me at last how well you have learned all my lessons and wisdom." Carol willingly and shamelessly taught me all conceivable and unthinkable, the most unbridled poses, from primitive and simple to the rarest acrobatic etudes. In her performance, even a hot Casanova would have seemed hopelessly impotent. I became an insatiable and completely subject to her lover, lustfully fulfilling all her lustful desires. Of course, I was well aware of the immorality and forbidden sinfulness of what was happening. To enter into an unauthorized relationship with the mother of my own lawful wife. It was clearly beyond all conceivable limits of common decency and marital fidelity. But at the same time, my shameless mother-in-law Carol seemed to me more and more like a true goddess of love, sent by fate itself. She was for me not just an official member of the new family, but a source of incredible, hitherto unexplored sensual and carnal pleasures. It was on her initiative and at her suggestion that I was able to fully liberate myself, finally say goodbye to all complexes and clamps, gain the missing male confidence, and comprehend all possible secrets, all the subtle nuances of ecstatic embraces on the way to the highest intimate bliss. Carol was absolutely right. My irrepressible youthful lust really should have been immediately VDJ quenched, VJKJ, by the strictest and full program. For the first nights with the naive and too young Emily left only a burning disappointment and the strongest dissatisfaction. Only with my openly lecherous and incredibly experienced in the affairs of debauchery and sin mother-in-law, I was finally able to enjoy the very essence of intimacy without shyness and any sanctimonious conventions. Therefore, in no case should not underestimate the role and influence of the mother-in-law in the personal, intimate life of the son-in-law. Of course, to enter into such a forbidden and shameful relationship with her is a certain challenge to society itself and going beyond the generally accepted morality and decency. But has true, untainted passion ever recognized any limitations and conventions? For me, Carol was not just a relative by family status, but a priestess of forbidden mysteries, leading to the heights of pleasure. Her experience and passionate nature made me a man capable of giving a woman the ultimate bliss, even if it meant crossing the line. Did you like this story? Let us know in the comments what you liked. Subscribe to our storytelling podcast. Also, don't forget to like and ring the bell so you don't miss more interesting stories. See you soon.